finish it yesterday.
Before you get started, did your partner make arrangements with you to not be here today? Josie.
I don't know she was gonna.
Yeah.
We didn't know she was gonna be absent.
Absolutely.
She was mad about you guys not putting her name in.
Okay. So we left off the question: what would the impact of this amendment have been if it were adopted? Between 1975 and 1983, 32 states asked for a convention to propose an amendment that required that the federal budget be balanced each year, except in time of war or other national emergency. That's like a question to you guys. What do you guys think? How would that have affected or impact our country today?
Wait, what?
How would this, like, if this amendment had been passed, what would that have done?
Yeah.
Remember in economics?
We wouldn't be in such a big debt if that would have passed.
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything to say about that, Ari?
What?
What would the impact have been if an amendment would have been passed that the federal budget be balanced each year except in time of war and or other national emergency? You don't know?
What would, I wonder, what would have been qualified as war or national emergency? Would just like with every law, would there have been politicians willing to bend the intent of that amendment to say, like, for instance, like the war on terror has been going on for like, how many years, 12 or something? Would they say that qualifies as war so we can spend as much as we want? How much over would they be allowed to spend in the current revenue that they're taking in? And what could they classify as a national emergency? Could it be global warming, or, you know, I'm just curious.
I think because of maybe because of the idea of the elastic clause and like how you could extend the meaning of things and stuff like that, that politicians would try to do that. They would try to like classify something that isn't necessarily fit into an actual war and say, oh, it is a war, like what you were talking about, like the price wars and like, you know, like with tariffs and other countries. I think they would do that. Okay, so we're going to move on if no one else has any comments on that. Something that's important to know. Proposal takes place by the national level, and ratification is a state-by-state manner. When the Constitution is amended, that action represents the expression of the people's sovereign will. So basically it's saying like this amendment is like what you guys want. It's your will. That's what it's trying to say. You want to read that down?
What would the impact of the amendment have been if it was adopted? Between 1975 and 1983, 32 states asked for a convention to propose an amendment that would require that the federal budget be balanced each year.
I think that was like that was an addition to a slide that it didn't. That was supposed to be erased. I'm sorry. Yeah, read that part.
What do critics say about the sending proposed amendments to the state legislatures? Critics argue that state legislatures who do the ratifying are elected to office for a mix of reasons, but are almost never chosen because of their stand on the proposed amendment. But the delegates to ratifying convention would be chosen by the people on the basis of only one factor: a yes or no stand on the proposed amendment. So what do you guys think about that?
Think about what? Can you be more specific in the type of question you're trying to...
So we were talking a little bit about this yesterday, and what kind of method is best used when it comes to making amendments. Like when you have a ratifying convention, like in the second method, then the people they would be chosen on the basis of only one factor, like a yes or no stand on the proposed amendment. But the first method, is different. It's just like the state legislature without the people having their opinion in it. So it's an extension of what we were talking about yesterday and what you guys think, like, which is the best method, basically. Does anyone have any opinion on that? Bianca, maybe?
She's eating clothes.
Alejandra? Sarah, maybe?
Sarah?
Hawk versus Smith, 1920. The Supreme Court has held that a state cannot require an amendment proposed by Congress to be approved by a vote of the people of the state before it can be ratified by the state legislature. And we're not going to do that. You don't have to interpret that. Because, but anyone else can interpret that. What do you guys think that means? Like, if you guys would say that in your own words, what would that say? Sergio?
Ramon?
Sergio, do you have an opinion on what that means in your own words?
How did you say it?
How would you?
Well, I think I would say that any amendment proposed by Congress,
Like they can't have the people in the state vote for it before it's even
yeah,
gone through like the, what is it? Through the state legislature?
Yeah, it's like it can't go through it before it's ratified by the state legislature. So I think first it has to be ratified by the state legislature, and then the state can have that amendment proposed to Congress. I think that's what it means. Then.
Proposed amendments. There is only one exception that a proposed amendment must deal with. Article 5 declares that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. When Congress proposes an amendment, it is not making a law. This is why the President does not have the power to veto a Congress amendment.
A state may reject an amendment and later approve it, but once it approves it, it is final and unchallengeable. Out of 15,000 joint resolutions, only 33 of them have been sent to the states. Only 27 have been ratified. On page 75, you can find a list of some proposed amendments that have failed. There is now a 17-year deadline on the ratification of amendments, except the 19th Amendment and the ERA, which was granted a 3-year extension. The ERA claimed equal rights for women, but died in 1982. And here is the 27 amendments to the Constitution. Read that one.
Bill of Rights. Added less than 3 years.
The first one.
The first 10 amendments to the Constitution were added less than 3 years after it became effective. They were proposed by the first session of the first Congress in 1789. They guarantee the freedom of belief and expression, of freedom and security of the person, and a fair and equal treatment before the law. These rights came out of the debate of actually ratifying the Constitution itself, or not. Who is the princess? What?
Oh, this is a question to you guys. Who do you guys can remember, who was the quintessential delegate of the Constitutional Convention who advocated for the Bill of Rights? So who's the one guy that was like, yes, it's Thomas Jefferson.
There you go, Adia.
Wait, who did you say?
Right? But it says in the
He
book.
didn't go to the
He
one.
wasn't at the Constitution.
He was the one that didn't go to it.
I think I read it wrong.
Boy, James Madison.
So I apologize for that.
I think you could maybe argue that some of the big heavy-duty players from the Constitutional Convention that later helped in the inclusion for the Bill of Rights would be Governor Randolph from Virginia, because he refused to sign it, and also George Mason from Virginia. Those are two guys who really lobbied to have a Bill of Rights included. So those are two people I think you could probably put in there.
Randall. So I think I read it wrong, and I thought they made him, so I'm sorry.
Oh.
The later amendments. Examples. The 11th Amendment declares that no state may be sued in the federal courts by a citizen of another state or by a citizen of any foreign state. It was proposed by Congress in 1794 and ratified in 1795.
The 12th Amendment was added to the Constitution in 1804 after the Electoral College failed to produce a winner in the presidential election of 1800. After much debate with the HOR, Thomas Jefferson became the third president of the United States. The 13th Amendment, added in 1865, abolished slavery and was direct result of the Civil War.
Yeah. And HR stands for House of Representatives.
Yeah.
I think it's done. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Section 3.